Hi, everyone. Welcome to another California Psychics Facebook and YouTube Live. I'm Carly. I will be your moderator, and I'm here with Psychic Marin. How are you doing today?
Hello, I am doing great as always. We just launched really quick today and we didn't have a little bit of time to chit chat. Normally I let you know what I'm going to start off talking about first thing intro with everybody watching. So I'm going to talk for a second about the fact that we are in a Mercury retrograde right now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and so if we have any technological glitches throughout this broadcast, you can bounce on over to the California Psychic blog and you can Google Mercury retrograde and you can learn a little bit more about what that actually means. But in a nutshell, things having to do with communication, dates, numbers, timing, planning, those can be disrupted right now because the planet Mercury appears to be traveling in an opposite direction. It's almost like a shift in the planetary energy, which disrupts our communication patterns sometimes. So if you have any doctor's appointments, any significant appointments, double, triple check to make sure you've got the date and time right, because we're going to be in this phase for about 2 more weeks.
Yes, and I always say double check your text messages and emails for typos. Make sure you're sending it to the right person.
Yes.
I know I've had that problem before, and I blame it on Mercury retrograde. That's my go-to.
Yeah. Or if there's something that's inevitable, like sometimes you're closing escrow, or if you're dealing with contracts or written words and it just happens to fall in this window, just be extra diligent. You can also do candle work. Some people keep a vigil candle going at all times to help with this. The color would be red that you would choose to use because red's representative of Mercury. But cool. Just be extra cautious right now. For about 2 more weeks, June 22nd.
Good advice.
Yeah.
And then, as Marin said, on our California Psychics blog, we do have tons of information about Mercury retrograde, but we also just started a California Psychics TikTok channel. So go over to TikTok, follow us at California Psychics, and some of our latest posts are the do's and don'ts to get through Mercury retrograde and explains a little bit more about what it is. So again, I really appreciate it if you follow us at California Psychics on TikTok. So let's before I jump into questions, for anyone that's new, I want to point out some of our ground rules, housekeeping rules. Marin won't be able to answer any questions that have to do with medical advice or legal advice. So anything on your health, pregnancy, court cases, please leave those out of the comments. But Marin can answer anything on careers, relationships, past loved ones. She's a great medium. So anything that you have on those topics, feel free to drop it in the chat. If you are asking about someone specific, a past loved one or a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, please use their first name because it'll help Marin connect faster, and we want to make sure we get to as many people as possible. So that's greatly appreciated. And the last 15-20 minutes of the show, Marin will be pulling tarot cards. So maybe right now you're not comfortable asking a very specific full question. At the end, you could just say, can I have a card on love? Or can I have a card on my life path? And Marin will pick a card and explain what it means to your topic. So stay tuned for that. Did I miss anything?
No, we are good.
Okay, I'm going to start with our first question.
Okay.
Let's see. Sorry. This is on YouTube. Hua Kimasabe. Is Kevin the right one for me?
Okay, let me just get a connection with you. Sometimes it can be a little tricky with the screen names or names that I'm trying to get past. So just give me. I don't believe so. I don't believe so because what they're showing me is that this relationship starts to really dwindle when I'm looking at October. Short answer is no. I'm sorry. I feel like you'll start to experience a lot of problems and it just plateaus throughout the remainder of this summer, and then sharp decline in October. So I think you'll have the answer to that in October, unfortunately.
Okay. And that's a good point about the screen names. So especially if you're on YouTube and you have a different name other than your own, please say what your name is to help us out. For the most part, I think most of these have the name, but just calling that out for any people now.
Yeah, I know some of you guys, it's you want to maintain that confidentiality, but if you can just say, hi, I'm Barbara and I'm asking about Kevin. I mean, anything like that would just help me. What happens, so you can understand the process, is I will see like a dozen people. So if I can go, oh, that's Kevin, oh, that's her, him, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, good point. On Facebook, Cindy asks, my best friend Frank is acting very strange past 2 days with me. Is he seeing another woman or did someone put a spell on him?
I don't see that there is another woman. But what I'm really thrown off by is that you use the word best friend, but I feel like there's something a lot more than just a best friend with the two of you. So the awkwardness that I'm getting looks more like it's something that's interpersonal between the two of you. Nothing that I'm getting in terms of root worker or something that's being thrown on him, spell. But I feel like, and here we go again with this Mercury retrograde and communication. Now's probably not the best time to open up for discussing any of this right now. I would at least give it 2 more weeks, but you're going to continue to see this and it's going to be causing you just to go crazy and overthinking this. So don't dissect this for 2 more weeks.
And then, I'm sorry for mispronouncing the names, but Marpara is asking about Abdullah and their future. What are you seeing for Marpara and Abdullah's future?
Okay. So the first thing that I'm shown is that there's going to be this geographical distance between the two of you. And I'm trying to get the timing on that to tell if that's either current or if that's going to be continuing throughout this summer. This relationship, when I'm looking at early November, that's when I start to see this really settling down and it starts to shift into something much more consistent. So there's a geographical hurdle that you guys are going to have to overcome. Almost everything's going to be online communication and texting and messaging. But as far as the two people and the energies that I'm seeing, extremely compatible, a little bit of baggage that's being worked out, but those are the least of my concerns. I think by early November, you're going to feel that this is a solid relationship, solid situation headed in the direction of that exclusive committed relationship.
Sounds like good news.
Yeah.
Angelica says, I haven't been in a relationship in a while. I recently started dating a guy named Andy. What do I need to know about him and will it work out?
Okay. My first impression of him is that he's a lot more nervous than what you are seeing. So that confidence and that ability to pursue you and date you, you've got about 3 more weeks when I see him just kind of feeling like I've ran out of all the tools in my toolbox. And so now what? So be prepared that in about 3 more weeks to really throw him a bone, some more date ideas, have something more creative in the background, because I just see him starting to kind of dwindle. And that's when you're expected to be a little bit more of that pursuer, because he's going to start second guessing himself and really wondering, are you interested? Are you not that interested? It just looks like a little up and down. By first week in August, I'm getting plans of a bigger trip, and I just see kind of this happily ever after. So I think it's definitely going to work out, but you're just trying to get over this last little bit of insecurity and confidence with him.
And Myrna says, my grandpa passed away 3 years ago. Does he have a message? His name is Ramon. Thank you.
Yes. And this, without breaching any of our guidelines with regards to kids and family and discussing pregnancy, they keep showing me images of him over, like he's watching over, there's a young boy, and I keep getting about 2, like age of 2. They're showing me him watching over this younger boy. Yeah, and something to do with like a lake outing or something where you guys are out and you're camping and just trying to keep him safe. I feel like he's more of the guardian or the protector for this young boy. And I don't see that there's any direct message for you. He's one of those souls that really comes and goes. But the emphasis that I keep getting is about his nose, and I'm trying to see, he's got like more of a Native American or a larger nose, and I keep seeing this little boy kind of having those very similar features, so that energy's the same. It's not the same soul, but they are very closely aligned. Like that's his guardian. 3, 4. They're showing also something about you encouraging going back to school. And so there's something, I don't know if you want to pop back on or any follow-up questions I'll be on later tonight, but they're showing that he's going to be assisting you with a decision in you going back to school not till next spring.
Awesome.
I know there's a lot of information. I'm trying to keep it concise.
Yes, Mirna, if you have any more questions or just want more information on what Marin said, be sure to get in her queue. And Marin, speaking of, do you want to tell people your hours for the next few days?
Yes, so I will be on in about 2 hours tonight. So 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., I believe, Pacific time tonight. And then I also have an evening shift tomorrow where it's going to be, I think it's 4-ish, 4, 5-ish. I might actually add an hour till about 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Awesome. And that's Pacific time, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Everyone, I highly encourage you to add Psychic Marin to your Psychic Circle. And if you don't know what Psychic Circle is, it's part of our Karma Rewards program, which is a free loyalty program. It allows you to get points, and points turn into free reading minutes. So one of the features it has is Psychic Circle. And if you add your 5 favorite psychics to your Psychic Circle, you get extra points every time you read with those psychics. So extra points is closer to getting a free reading. So I highly recommend adding Marin to your Psychic Circle.
Thank you.
Let's go to our next question. And I see a lot of people that are just asking either very general questions like, what does my love life look like? Or is there anything coming down my life path? We're going to stay away from those for these just because it is a little bit easier for Marin to jump in on more specific, specific questions. But if you do have more general questions, be sure to hop in her queue and she can get into more detailed readings with you. But I am going to stay away from some of the more general questions. Nancy wants to know, does Steve like me more than what he allows me to see?
Yes, totally simple answer. Yes, his issue is scheduling, and it just feels like it's time constraints, poor time management, and just feeling like I'll get to this, I'll get to this, I'll get to this, which I know is kind of hurting your feelings a little bit, but I do see that genuine intent. And that shift schedule-wise early September, you'll start to feel like you've got a lot more of his attention and more prioritizing. It's like he feels that I've got to make up for being a little more distant or more absent. But the connection there, yes. And also just not somebody that really shares a lot of feelings through words. So I think you're on the right track with being able to read past his actions, and by hanging in there, you'll just see this continue to grow and unfold.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I want to give a quick happy birthday to Fareed. Fareed wrote that it's their birthday, so happy birthday, Fareed.
Yeah.
And if you have a more specific question, Fareed, please drop it in the chat. I'll look for it. Ooh, they're going so fast. Mariah says, what can I expect moving forward career-wise? Why finances increase anytime soon?
So they gave me February, and then I'm working my way back. And I actually think that things are much better around late November, early December, and then it's the whole holiday rush and finances and all of that. And by February, you're pretty solid. The other thing that you're not mentioning that they are showing me is is an investment property, and so I just don't know if that's something that is already on your radar. I'm trying to go fast, but I'm trying to get images, and they're just showing an investment property. If you are on the fence of whether I can purchase right now or if I'm going to buy, I give you the big green light, because they're showing that this is going to be almost a third again in 4 or 5 years of what you're making with the increase of this and the equity in the home. So yeah, definitely finances improving and a little home opportunity. I didn't touch on the career as much, but I think that kind of speaks for itself. I see the consistency in the career, but I don't get any promotions or any extreme raises. But I see you doing well with spending, and pay attention to the home. I think there might be kind of a bundled home equity, later refinance. You're going to do well.
Nice. And I think our push notification just went out on our app, because now we have 171 viewers. So thank you, everyone. I know. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I want to give some special thank yous to some people that are watching. I can see on Facebook. Let's see, Mary Beach and Brandon Blakes and Chiffon Jones, Laura Austin, Teresa Clifton, Debbie McDonald. The list goes on and on. Thank you all so much for watching. Over on YouTube, we have Tammy Ray and Tamika Seawright and Lena B and Christina Briscoe. So I really appreciate everyone taking the time to spend with Marin and I. We're going to get to as many questions as possible. We still have another 45 minutes, so get your questions in. But while you're waiting for your question to be answered, go ahead, if you're on Facebook, hit that like button, and then subscribe or follow us on Facebook. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and hit that little bell notification. Every time that we go live, you'll get a notification from YouTube, so you never miss another one of our lives. Let's go on to the next one.
All right.
Tony wants to know, will Jennifer come back to me?
Yes. Boy, this one's a heartbreaker, because I feel yes, but I feel like it's almost in this rebound capacity where she's coming back with 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Time-wise, June, at the end of this month, actually, what they're showing me is that the communication starts picking back up, but you're just not going to feel like she's really that invested. I think that this has a shorter future, so I'm cautioning you, because I just don't want you getting hurt. But I do see her coming back, and you'll have an opportunity to explore this a little bit more the very last week of this month. But I just don't want you being taken advantage of. It just feels like she's kind of drifting right now, so be careful.
Don Fletcher would like to know, does James have any messages for me? Did he see his B-Day party?
Somebody has a, I don't know the model of this car. Gosh, I'm not a car person, but somebody has this sports car, and I just keep seeing him watching this, and it's almost more of a little bit of a concerning. Anybody in this immediate circle, especially somebody that was in attendance to this party, that's what I'm focused on, because I see this aerial view of him driving, and it's like, slow down. Did somebody just get a brand new little sports car? Are they driving too fast? I don't think it's you, but I feel like it's somebody really close to you, and he's cautioning, he's watching over. I feel like he was more of a daredevil. I feel like that was more of his pace of life in this go, go, go. And so he's more of a protector when I see him. I I think that from the relationship with the two of you is he's not hovering over you. I don't see him latched onto you and following you. I do see him present with the birthday, but the concern is really for this sports car driver. Slow down, no accidents, be safe.
Yes, be safe. Lena says, hi, my name is Lena. Will things with my person of interest, Steven, progress? Does he have any genuine feelings towards me?
They will progress after that weekend time frame of the 4th of July. So there's just going to be these missed opportunities with communication and plans just kind of falling, I'm so tongue-tied, sorry, falling through. But when I'm looking at mid-July, now it's just going to be fast. Like it's really going to progress. Feelings are genuine. He's a sweetheart. Definitely somebody that's trustworthy and loyal. So don't let this rocky couple weeks of this first month throw you off. That intent is going to be really strong come mid-July.
Lauren says, any messages from my grandmother? Her name is Maria. I've been really missing her lately.
Yeah, and she has dark brown hair, and I'm wondering if you have dark brown long hair, because it was literally like looking at a woman, a grandmother and a child, and she's just like swirling and combing and spinning her hair. And so I just don't know if there's something culturally or if she used to do your hair, but it's like she just wants to, something about hair and liking your hair. And I'm even wondering if it's the same hairstyle as her, because there's just this little innocence of like, I just want to bottle you up and hug you and all this love. So there's a really tender, close relationship with the two of you. If you're thinking of cutting your hair, that would be a no. She would be heartbroken. Not to influence that decision too much or make you feel bad, but boy, she just, something about the hair she just loves.
Oh, that's cute. Diane says, will my twin flame James open up soon?
3. You're still looking at almost 3 months. There's this whole other side to family, and I don't know if you've met. They just answered and said you've met. There's going to be this breakthrough with family members that I just don't feel like you've been 100% accepted, or there still are some family dynamics that are a little bit sticky, and they're showing me towards the middle part of August. There's a bigger gathering, and it feels like a lot of people coming from farther away. And I suspect that some of these people you might not have met. And that's when I see this full acceptance, and he's much more relaxed. I feel like he's kind of this middleman and filtering conversations, and there's just some weirder family dynamics. But what they're showing me is that once that acceptance has happened, then he just really lets go, and the relationship will feel like what you've been waiting for. So mid-August.
Awesome. Christina says, hi, I met someone new. Andre, where do you see it going?
Spicy. Keep your heart guarded, because it just doesn't feel like this is something where it's this instant love. It's this instant love. It feels more like an instant fling, and then it starts to fade, and then the relationship develops. So don't second guess or wonder, is this all he wants, or is it just a fling, or why is there not more meat and depth to this? That starts to develop by the end of July. But at first, it's super flirtatious, high sexual chemistry, and then that real relationship where it really feels more loving and solid by the later part of July. I feel like your guides are wanting you to know. I know that you're more conservative, but they're just wanting you to know that this is time for you to have fun. And he's somebody that is trustworthy, that you can have fun. So whatever your boundaries are and comfort with intimacy, definitely don't breach that, but have fun and allow for that playfulness and flirtiness, because it's been a while since you've had an opportunity like this.
Good luck, Christina.
Yeah.
Jessica says, any messages from my mom? Her name is Basilia.
Okay, give me 1 second, because instantly I just kept getting I got a travel, like I got something that took me to Europe and then brought me back. And I don't know if that was where she was from or if there was a trip. Give me just 1 second. I feel like the message is that you're going to be traveling, and something about this old European building that she's very connected to, or something that was symbolic. So I'm wondering if you're going to do something in her honor, or if you're meeting people that has this connection to this destination. And it looks like a very large, not a church, but a very historic building. But she's with you. She's with you when she's traveling. She's kind of the glue amongst the family, and she's one of those floater spirits that is always bouncing from place to place to place. So where she will be watching over you in the near future is through these travels, and ensuring that you have this experience and connection with her through this architecture. So that's kind of fascinating. If you've got a background or anything having to do with I almost want to say, is it Italy? I'm just not being told that to validate that, but it does look like that's in your near future.
Sounds awesome. Travel is always fun.
Yeah.
Megan over on YouTube says, hi, I was wondering if me and my boyfriend Arlo will work out. Also, is his grandma Tina watching over him?
Yes, with the grandmother, but not. I think what you understand and what you know is how close they were, and he often speaks about her, and they had a close relationship. But I don't see that she's always watching over him. He's really independent, pretty self-sufficient right now. The struggle, like just financial and just feeling like I'm getting back on track, that is really diminished. So she's not immediately watching over him at all times, but she is supportive of the relationship, and she is supportive of you nurturing him. He worries a lot, and so her biggest role is just trying to help him relax, or that it's all going to be okay. I think that they were close, but a lot of what you're hearing and experiencing is not something that's so much ongoing. I don't want to, you might even not want to share this, because I don't want to hurt his feelings so much, but she's just not there watching over him all the time. He's much more self-sufficient and independent, and it's good for him to be able to feel like, I've got this, and I can do this on my own. And that little bit of confidence is what his lesson is at this point.
Nice.
And yes, yes, the relationship will work out. I think that was your other question.
Yes. Talia says, hi, Marin. Is there anything in the future for my relationship with my person of interest, Andre?
Okay, 2, 3. I'm just trying to get a countdown. It's you describe it as person of interest. This is a absolute solid relationship when I'm looking at August. So that's like right around the corner. So this is not just a person of interest. This is going to be a very serious relationship. And I keep seeing this whole other identity inside to him that you are yet to discover, where he was more of like a like hip hop dancer, clubber. He had this whole other identity years ago. And so once you guys tap into that nightlife, and with COVID and everything, it's been restricted, but once you guys really tap into this kind of nightlife routine, I just see that that's what makes this relationship soar. And so this summer, late July-ish, that's when it feels like now he's exclusive, focused on you, and a lot more fun and going out, and you really start to settle into this relationship by the end of July.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're on a roll. These are, so far, for the most part, they're pretty optimistic. We've only had to break a couple hearts today.
And then before we go on to the next one, a reminder for any new people here, use the promo code LIVE5 when you create an account at CaliforniaPsychics.com or through our app, and you've never gotten a reading before with us, it'll add $5 extra to your account. So it's $5 free to get a reading with Marin or any of our wonderful psychics. And Marin will be on again later on tonight. If you want to get in her queue, I know it fills up fast, so everyone try to get in there. And also a special thank you to everyone watching. Let's see who else we got. Some new people watching: Angelica Riviera, Patricia Bates, Angel Kroll, and Clayton Jacobs, Valerie Hulu, Sammy Lee Johnson, and then over on YouTube we have Manisha, we have Marianne, we have Artelia, Jeanette. So special thank you to everyone that's watching. We really appreciate it. We couldn't do this without you watching. It would just be, Marin and I chit-chatting without you all here watching. We have 30 more minutes, so you still have plenty of time to get your questions in. If you have a friend that maybe not know about California Psychics, go ahead and tag them on YouTube, tag them on Facebook. Tell them to drop a comment in and tell them that a friend sent you. And I'll try to look for those comments where it says, a friend sent me to get to those new people. But our next question, let's see. This was an interesting one. Okay. Jeanette says, who is the loved one who watches over me and sends me messages before I wake up? So that was an interesting question.
And this is tricky because the very first name that came through, I thought it was Bruce, but then I got the name Brian, and I don't want to confuse you, but I'm hoping that there's a connection with those two, or that means something to you, because normally I just get one solid name and not two. But it feels like I'm looking at actually two people, an older gentleman and then a younger boy. And so Bruce Brian, those are the interchangeable two names that I keep getting. And I don't feel like you just have one person is what the issue could be. So I'm hoping that makes sense for you and you can identify who I'm speaking about, but they're both men. One's a little bit older than the other.
That's interesting. Yes, Jeanette, if you want to follow up, I'm interested to see too if Bruce or Brian?
Bruce or Brian.
Bruce
was the first name.
If any of those names stand out to you, let us know, because I'm interested too. Over on Facebook, Marlon asks, is my girlfriend Tiffany the one for me?
Give me 1 second. I'm just trailing. Yes. Timeline for that is November. Like, I actually see the commitment. I don't want to give away any secrets, so I'll just say I see the commitment at the end of November, and I think that you're really solid in this decision by October. But that answer is yes. I just feel like you've got this scattered, not having this complete focus. She's not entirely invested in this relationship right now, but that's not you. That's circumstantial. That's just timing. It's a very frazzled mindset. And I feel like that all starts to slow down. August is when things level out, and now you guys are just two peas in a pod. So by late August to October, that's when you start feeling that validation, and you're going to be solid from October on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And I just got this image of you like snapping and and singing to her. And so I don't know if you've got a musical background or if that's just like your quirky, fun personality, but like you're dancing and you're singing to her. And I don't know if that's a part of a proposal or what that is, but they're showing me this image. So you're fun.
Awesome. Jeanette Johnson says, any messages for my mom, Carol?
Carol. So does the name Lulu mean something to you? She told me just now, I'm with Lulu, and I just get this image of like farmland and acres of farmland, and she's saying she's with Lulu, and I almost feel like that was a best friend or a relative or somebody that she was really close with or even lived with at some time. It's yeah, I got to keep it brief, but it's like she's living this whole other life in this dimension, which just sounds so out there, but she's happy. No concerns that I get immediately about you. Gosh, what is this Lulu? She just keeps emphasizing that she's with Lulu and wants you to know that she's happy and she's content.
Nice. And Angela Rivera says, I've been hesitant to channel my grandma, sister, and mom, Carmen, in heaven. So we only got one name. I'm assuming that's the mom, Carmen. Does Spirit say that I should, and when would be the best time for me to do so?
Okay. So I'm going to partially answer this in direct response to your question, and then also just kind of an overall that can help other people that may have a similar question.
Yes.
I think rather than, for anybody watching, rather than having like a very specific time where somebody would want you to connect, the concept of time is very irrelevant when it comes to communicating with the other side, because their perception is so different than ours, which is why a lot of times you'll be interrupted at 3 a.m. or at times that you might not really want to be bothered. It's better for you to set it on your terms and have some sort of consistency where for me personally, my routine is every morning at 9 a.m. And that's when I have like my open altar hours for spirits to come in. So I'm not disrupted right now and not disrupted when I'm reading for people. So if you designate a time and you can be more consistent, and then throughout your day, you can create those boundaries around saying like, I'm at work and no, tomorrow at 9 a.m. And they may not grasp the concept of 9 a.m., but if you are consistent in that time frame and coming, it's a lot easier for spirits and guides to come to you based on your schedule than for it just being so hit and miss and more random. I tend to see for you evening, and I think that that's just because that's what works with your schedule. That's when you have more of this solitude right before bed, when our brainwave state is most conducive to spirit communication. So right when you're settling in, right before bed, when you've shifted that brainwave state, you're going to be more receptive for a beginner really trying to learn. You're going to be better trying to connect then than in the middle of the day. It's almost like this rainbow of people and how they're lined up. And there's more than just those that you've identified when I'm reading you. And I really feel like they have been trying to communicate, and you, whether you realize it or not, messages are being conveyed. You just aren't hearing them in the way that we think that we hear things. It's more in your mind's eye or your thoughts. So when you are meditating or thinking about them, and then 2 hours later you hear this song on the radio, there is this lag in communication, but I see that flow working. So for you and anybody else watching, I would just say adopt a system where you're consistent for at least a week and just trying this out. Sit down in a meditative space for just 10 minutes on that same timeline, and you'll be surprised at what you start to feel when you really shift and make time for that to come through.
That's really interesting. Whenever you said your open altar hours, I just pictured like a professor with, open office hours.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook. Doreen says, why is Eric shutting down for me?
Oh, gosh. You're right. So first of all, I can validate that, and you are correct. But what's happening is that the the world is so different now. I mean, things are so different than how they were a year ago that it's not about you. I would really describe this more as this is him trying to figure out his new sense of self, trying to figure out his new lifestyle, and since pandemic and things changing and wanting to figure out how much of his time does he want to commit to you and this relationship. He's not wanting to communicate because he doesn't want to say things that he'll later regret, because he's just vacillating so much in his emotions. And I really just want to give you the advice that it's not you. It's him, and feeling like I'm just trying to gauge how much I want to put myself out there in this world, how much I want to live like a hermit. I'm trying to find this balance. I'm frustrated, and I just don't see him wanting to open up to you and share all these things, because he knows that in a couple weeks I might feel totally different. So give him that space to really process, rather than asking a lot of questions right now or trying to get him to open up, because it's just going to cause tension in this relationship, and I don't see him opening up. I feel like that's going to be closed off for almost 2 more months, and then he just starts to return to how he used to interact with you. So the relationship's still solid. He just needs a little bit of a mental timeout.
Little bump in the road is all.
Yeah.
Susan says, does Dad Roy have a message?
I'm trying to place the timing in this and when he passed, because it feels like this was so close. And when you gave me his name, I just started getting all of this music that just started playing. And I feel like that message too is supposed to be this sense of approval, or whether you chose something at a service that's a song that was played at the service. Like, I just keep getting this approval through music. I hope that makes sense to you. And I keep getting something about music therapy and healing and music therapy. And I don't know if that's on your radar right now, but I hope you can put these pieces together in this limited amount of time that we have right now. But it feels like he's giving you this message that there's going to be something that you are doing with music therapy and music healing.
That sounds very sweet.
Yeah.
We'll probably take one or two more questions before we get to the tarot card pool. So again, for anyone that is new and hasn't done one of these tarot card pools with Marin, about 3 or 4 more minutes, we will switch over to tarot, and you can ask a specific question, or you can just say, can I have a card, or can I have a love card, or a life path card? And then Marin will pull a card and see, tell you what it is and how it may pertain to the subject that you asked about. But before we get that, let's do a couple of more of these. Let's see. Melissa says, my grandma's name is Julia. She was born in 41. She passed away on 9/15/20. Does she have any messages for me?
Okay. I'm just tracing her. I keep seeing her in the context of you with like a younger, let me make sure I get this right. I feel like there's an older daughter, an older child that's having a child, and I keep seeing her focused on that, which would be your grandchild. And I don't think that little soul's here. And so they keep showing this presence around this grandchild. That's something that is like this little bit of information that you're supposed to know or to be prepared for, because I feel like there's a surprise or something that's unexpected. And I know we're blurring the line there, but that's about as much as I can give you, where I just see her watching over for that safety and that little soul.
And then one more before we go over to the tarot pools. Linda says, will William and I reconnect?
Um, yes, but it doesn't look like it's just a reconnect and that's it. It looks like it's on, off, and you're going to remain that way till about January. After January, that's when I finally see the consistency being maintained. So it's going to be frustrating for you if you are thinking that this is a one-time connection and that's it. Let them have that space for coming and going. And then by February, you're really happy. You'll see that shift in January.
Nice. So we'll switch over to tarot cards. So again, start commenting if you want a specific card, like, you know, how's your relationship going? Or is there a future career coming? You can still be specific, but you can also be very vague. And Marin will help out the best you can. Let's see. Andrea B says, Happy New Year card. Oh, Happy News card.
Happy New Year too.
I was like, you know, June, still thinking ahead.
So I mean, this isn't necessarily happy or unhappy, but this is the 8 of Wands. And the 8 of Wands means you need to act fast. This is a card of timing and movement. So it's not so much happy, but it could be implied as positive. It's not showing that you're stuck. It's saying you need to act fast if you want this to happen. And the time is now. So it can be interpreted as positive. And that was the 8 of Wands.
Nina says a love card, please.
Okay, Nina. Oh, you got the Strength card. And the Strength is learning to work with that beast, work with that animal, but instead of using force, perhaps it's a different type of strength that you use. So maybe not the direct verbal critique or complaint or this is what I want different, but finessing the situation in order to feel more powered and balanced in this relationship. Or on the flip side, it also is interpreted as have the strength and hang in there because this will be a positive result.
Nice. And then I said it earlier, but happy birthday for Reed. Can he have a love card for his birthday?
Yeah. Okay. We've got the Star, and this is one of my favorite cards in the whole deck. This is somebody that is finally so confident and happy in their sense of self that this person is depicted as being nude in alignment with spirit, with 1 foot on water and 1 foot on land, which is just like the best of all worlds. So here she is in her birthday suit, but it's just representing that you've got it all. You don't need any materialistic possessions and needs because instead you've got that direct connection with spirit. It doesn't get much better than this. So that's a great birthday card.
That is a good card.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hello, my name is Lucia. Can I get a future card, please?
Okay, Lucia, this is the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is somebody that's in this contemplative frame of mind. Sometimes it's you know what, I don't think this is for you. I think this is somebody or this is representative of somebody that is in your life. This is a Page of Wands, so most likely a young man that is looking at this big future ahead and where am I going? And there's a lot of energy and excitement and charisma and kind of like this big wand of power that I'm going to go out into this world. So if you are a mother, if you have a son, ready for adventure, that's what this card represents.
This next one is from Sybil. She says, dementia mother-in-law situation is breaking up my marriage. Please advise. Any messages?
Yeah, I'll say. This is the 7 of Swords, and this card is also known as a stranger in the night card, and it's a card of deception, and it's the type of deception where it's like I'm looking to see, am I getting caught and what's happening, and I feel like there's a lot of untruths that are being spoken, a lot of things that you can't take at face value, some sneaky maneuvers. Don't let the fact that this card is a male make you think that this is necessarily your partner. I feel like this card is the mother, and there's a lot that you've got to weed out that is just not true or what's being told. And you mentioned that she has dementia, but I feel like within the relationship, that's not really being recognized. And I think that her words still have a lot of weight, and this is a tough situation.
Definitely a tough one. Ellie Wood would like a love card.
Okay. So you've got the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands is somebody that's kind of searching, like you're not entirely fulfilled. You're wondering, is there a better option out there? The card in the tarot, you can see these little tiny ships that are out there, and it's almost like the ship has gone out to sea and you're waiting to see what's going to happen. It's kind of a lonely card, a very hollow feeling card, which could be the state of the relationship that you're in or what you're searching for. It's a card that can often represent some struggles as you're sorting through feelings.
And then before we go over to the next one, just want to call out that next week we will have Psychic Tegan with us doing our next Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And then the week after that, we are doing our Tarot Live, and we have Psychic Tarot Live, and Tyler. Ooh, that was hard to say. Psychic Tyler will be doing that. And Tarot Live, for anyone that doesn't know, is a little bit different than our traditional live stream we have here. We're not going to be on camera, but Psychic Tyler will be taking over all of our social media channels. So she'll be on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And so anyone that comments on the post that we post that day, at the same time, it is 3 o'clock Pacific, 3 to 4. She'll be on and answering as many questions as she can in that 1 hour time frame, but she'll be typing out her answers and posting the tarot card that goes with that. So that is on the 21st. And then on the 28th, rounding out June, we have Psychic Kerrigan. So be sure to stop by. Remember, every Monday, same time, we're either doing a live stream on camera, or the third Monday of every month, we are doing that Tarot Live, where it's just the commenting of the card you got with your answer. But if you don't want to ever forget when we're having these, I said it earlier, but make sure that you like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the little bell icon on YouTube, and it sends you a push notification every time we go live, so you'll never forget it. It'll show up on your phone. I thought I had another announcement, but I don't think I do. Oh, we have a contest coming up on June, let's see, I believe it is June 18th. I'm not quite sure on that date. I think it's June 18th. We have a contest coming up, but be sure to follow us on social and you will see what the prize is. Let's get a few more in. We have 7 minutes. Let's see.
All right.
Raj wants to know if he can have a marriage card, please.
Okay, Raj. Oh, this is the Death card, which often means change, but it's in a reverse position. So if I were to interpret this about a relationship, a current relationship, I would say that there isn't any real change headed in your future. There's some resistance, there's some hesitation. You still just don't know the direction that this is going to go. So there's some resistance here. Don't let the fact that the card is the Death card concern you. It's sometimes very good. It's a very welcome change. But in your situation, you guys, it's just stuck. So I'm happy to speak to you about that a little bit more in detail if you have more questions tonight, but it's a tough one.
Yes. Kimmy would like a love card, please.
Okay, Kimmy. You have the King of Swords, and the King of Swords is a relationship partner with somebody that is very intellectual. And what your guides are saying is that it's almost like a fault in a relationship. And I'm trying to see if there was a separation, or if you guys are going through difficult, I think there was a separation, because it's just a very critical personality, that doesn't mean to be, but is just so much of a perfectionist and detailed that it comes across as very sharp and critical.
Teresa says, am I totally on the wrong life path or wrong path right now?
Well, yes and no. I think that you've already kind of answered that yourself, even by just asking, are you on the wrong path? Obviously, you must have some underlying intuitive feeling that you're not on the right path. But, not far around the corner, they're showing me early July. I just was completely thrown down this dabbling with real estate. And I'm wondering if that's a career path that you are considering, or just a side opportunity, because they're saying there is an opportunity that's coming out. So this is the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups has this little fish that's just the fish in the tarot is depicted as sometimes Jesus, God, spirit, that there's an opportunity coming from spirit that's just gonna jump out of this cup as you're trying to take a drink. So you know that expression, like if it's a snake, it would have bit you. Well, this card is showing that there is an opportunity that's just leaping out at you that you can't help but not see it right in front of you. So stay on this wrong path that you're feeling that you're on right now, and it's going to be intercepted by a little opportunity pretty soon, right around the corner, about a month from now.
And would like a love card.
And you've got the Temperance card, and this is showing that the relationship needs a lot more healing, a lot more nurturing. I think that you are spread so thin that the dynamics of relationships right now have kind of been neglected. So it's saying time for a little bit more healing and patience and love and understanding to nurture the relationship.
Quenisha says, will me and my ex-girlfriend get back together?
So I did draw a card since we've shifted over to tarot pulls, but I'll answer that. This is saying, yes, this is the Page of Swords, but it's going to be a lot of, very similar with that King of Swords cards that we just had. This is a little bit more of an immature personality, but still that same sharp tongue and a lot of criticism. So I do feel like you will be gently getting back together, but you're just going to feel like it's this constant tug of war because there's a lot of criticism. And I feel like it stings a lot more being on the receiving end than what their intent actually is. So if you can try to buffer a lot of that and not take it as personal, or be very careful in how you're telling them that that criticism is not appreciated, it will help this relationship.
And we'll get to one more, but before we do, Marin, do you want to recap your hours that you'll be on so everyone can try to get in your queue?
Yeah, thank you. So I do have appointments. If you have any questions or need help with an appointment, you can always call customer service and they can get you an appointment. I am going to be on in an hour, so 1 hour, 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock Pacific. And then tomorrow night, I believe I'm either on at 4 or 5 tomorrow until 11 Pacific. I'm going to have mostly evening hours, and then I'm going to be adding a lot more hours for the remainder of this week once I figure out a couple more California Psychic marketing things that we've got in the near future. But I will add hours later this week. So if you see an empty schedule, I will fill that up shortly.
Yes, and I don't mind giving the teaser away.
Okay.
Again, everyone, we have a California Psychics TikTok. Join us, or follow us at California Psychics, and then also Marin will be helping us out with a summer solstice ritual video on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. I am so excited to see what Marin has for us. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. And we have 1 more minute left, and I want to make sure we get to one last question.
Okay.
Drum roll, please. Who is it going to be? I'm just scrolling, and I'm going to pick Lisa. Will David and I get back together?
So David wants to be a hermit right now. David wants to be left alone. I get the message that if you give him this downtime, you give him this space, and that literally means like maybe 2-3 weeks you can check in. You guys will be getting back together in September, but he needs to be left alone. I don't see other women. I don't see being sidetracked or anything that's going to interfere with the relationship. But if he doesn't get this much needed mental break, he just will turn his back and stay away. He won't come back because it'll feel too pushy or clingier. So I know you're worried, but you've got to give him that space.
Good advice. Sometimes space is just needed. And everyone I see a couple people dropping off, so don't go quite yet. If you have any other questions, make sure you give Marin a call. Like she said, you can talk to customer service. They are wonderful about setting up appointments. And if Marin's not available, check out some of our other psychics we have on the line on our app and on our website. And if you're a new customer, if you've never gotten a call with California Psychics before, use Live5 promo code scrolling at the bottom. That'll get you $5 extra added to your account when you create an account with us. And for our customers that we have all the time, we love y'all and we have promos regularly. You know that. Check your email for the next promo that's coming up. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. And thank you, Marin. Always love having you here.
Bye-bye.